Beggars Bridge, Kevin Mooney. 4, Blue Patrol, Jimmy Nolan. 6, Eddie Wee, ridden by Mr. Ted Walsh. 8, $50 more, John Frankham. 9, Farmar, Eddie Brooke. 13, Hartstown, Boots Madden. 15, Kilf, Richard Hoare. 16, Knighthood, ridden by Andy Turnell. 19, Path of Peace, Dennis Atkins. 20, Pay Related, Alan Brown. 21, Prince By, Tommy Comedy. 24, Roadster, Alan Anthony Webber, I should say. 25, Sailor's Return, Peter Scudamore. 27, State Councillor, Blinkered, like Beggars Bridge, written by Chris Grant. And 28 is the TSAREVICH, written by Steve Smith-Eccles. Now, I better join him with Richard Pittman. They're just circling the paddock now, about to exit. Here's how they're betting.
Well, the betting opens with Hartstown as the 2-to-1 favourite. But close up is Another Story, 5-2. That's coming in. It opened at 11-4, has now gone back to 5-2. $50 more, 7-1. The TSAREVICH and Pay Related, 10-1. Eddie Wee and Path of Peace, 20-1. The Sailor's Return, 25-1. Knighthood, 33-1. On 50-1, 4 of them: Beggars Bridge, Blue Patrol, Prince By, and Roadster. Framau and Kilvey and State Councillor on 66-1.
The runners making their way out now for this, the Waterford Crystal Supreme Novice Hurdle Race, and it's a race in which the Irish usually make it their own. They've won, in fact, 5 of the last 6 runnings, starting with Banno Ramba in 1975. And here is one of the 2 that is really fancied. This is Hartstown, number 13, ridden by Niall Madden and running for trainer Mick O'Toole. The Irish have other fancied runners, and in fact there is one of the other fancied runners. It's number 1, Another Story, ridden by Frank Levy and for Desi Hughes. In fact, Desi Hughes has been the winning rider of this race himself, riding match chariot for Mick O'Toole. That was back in 1977. Another Story is dividing the Irish between Hartstown and this fellow, and talking to my friends before racing, they're very much undecided. But this horse certainly has done nothing wrong to date, and he's got the right temperament. You can see him walking round there, very, very calm, cool and collected. A nice horse, he's put together well, bit of a dip back there, but a good shine on his coat, and this one certain to go well. He'll carry a lot of the Irish money. It's Another Story, number 1, just going out, and you can see the packed crowd here. They are 10 deep in places around the parade ring to look at the horses on their way out. On the way out there is 21, Prince By, a highly rated horse on the flat in France. This fellow made his hurdling debut here, making no show, but then he certainly put things to right next time out. That was at Doncaster, when favourite, over 2.5 miles. Well, Doncaster soft is rather different to the soft here at Cheltenham. The consistency of the turf totally different. Well, since then he didn't appear to stay 3 miles when running at Market Raisin, and disappeared from view after 2.5 miles. But he certainly gets 2 miles very well indeed. A strong gallop would suit this one, trained by Alan Jarvis. There to his right in the pink, you can see with the darker stripe. Now that's another very fancied horse. That's Pay Related, number 20. He's by the horse Mugatapura out of Jetstream, and trained by Peter Easterby at Malton. Well, Pay Related has done very little wrong this season. He's only been beaten once, and on that occasion he certainly didn't disgrace himself. He was splitting, in fact, Vicomte and Fort Belvedere on that occasion. That was at Nottingham. So Pay Related in the pink, certainly done nothing wrong, and I could see him being one of the main dangers to the Irish too here. Leading those 2 down, a very big horse. This is $50 more, Fred Winter's representative. He's by Deep Run out of Slanestown in the colours of Sheikh Ali Abu Kamsin, and unbeaten in his 3 runs since joining Fred Winter from Eddie Harty. He's 8-1 from 7s. But talking to Fred Winter in the stables yesterday, he was a little bit worried about this very sticky ground. He said he's a big horse and probably hasn't reached his full strength yet, and it may just pull him around a little bit. But as I say, he hasn't blotted his copybook, comes here with a clean sheet, but it may be a little bit too sticky for him. Number 24 is Roadster there in the light colours. Partha Peace, 25-1 from 20, is going out a full 5 points there. But nearest to us there in the light blue colours, Roadster, very interesting horse this. He's owned and bred by one of the joint masters of the Old Berks Hunt, out of a mare who has produced him quite a few point-to-point winners. But this fellow certainly is far better than a point-to-point winner. Hartstown is 9-4 favourite from 2-1 favourite, just going out a quarter there. But Roadster is one of the English horses that, although his form isn't as good as some of them, certainly is a very courageous animal, and I could see him just going on at the end of the race. So that is Roadster number 24. The runners making their way down. You can see the chute there just to the left of the hurdle track there. That's to confine the hurdle track to actual racing so that it doesn't get cut up. They're going down to the start. They're examining the first hurdle now, showing it to their horses, and it's quite an uphill start, this. There are the horses just looking at the first hurdle. And there is Hartstown in the check colours. We have a show betting for you.
Hartstown gone out to 9-4 from 2-1. Stays favourite. Another story, 5-2. $50 more, 8-1. The TSAREVICH and Pay Related, 10-1. On 20-1, Eddie Wee, Path of Peace and Sailor's Return, 25-1. Knighthood, 33-1. And a stack of them on 66-1. Beggar's Bridge, Blue Patrol, Prince By, Roadster and State Councillor. Fromau and Kilvey have both gone from 66-1 to 100-1.
Hartstown, what a nice sort of horse this is as well. He's being girthed up there, and very impressive last time out. My spies over in Ireland told me that his easy beating of Prominent Artist was certainly Cheltenham form. In fact, the trainer of the second there, Jeremy Maxwell, who trains Prominent Artist, said, well, it's no good taking this fella on again at Cheltenham. Such was the ease with which he won. Corrib Ranger, Paddy Prendergast's horse, was back in third place on that day. There, number 4 is Blue Patrol. He's one of two horses in very similar colours. Their hat differs slightly, so you may just miss them in running. Blue Patrol, this one, and Eddie Wee is the other one, just a different hat. Well, this one has been the medium of several hefty wagers in the past this season and has obliged, although he didn't last time out. Another story in Hartstown, 9-4 joint favourites, and it's 7-1 bar those two. So the Irish, 2 joint favourites now. 25 now in our picture. This is Sailor's Return by Harwell out of Louisiana, and this is one of David Nicholson's representatives, ridden by Peter Scudamore, who is now really bustling John Frankham up. Peter on the 77 winner mark for the season, and John on 79, so there'll certainly be a fair bit of rivalry during this meeting. Sailor's Return, a winner of 4 of his last 6 races, and goes in the mud. We have a show betting for you.
Hartstown 9-4, another story on the same price, 9-4. $50 more is 7-1. The TSAREVICH and Pay Related 10s. Eddie Wee is on 20-1. Path of Peace, Sailor's Return 25s. Knighthood 33-1, 66-1 bar. At Sedgefield, first number 23, Wilton Beacon, 5-1. Second number 20, Rich Discovery, 10-1. And third number 2, Quite a Boy, 13-8 on favourite.
And in the blinkers at the back there, in fact, he's just coming into the picture now at the back there. You can see the blinkered Beggar's Bridge, that's number 3. And this was a very high-class performer on the flat. But he was bought by Fulk Warwing a couple of seasons ago, and he didn't take to hurdling at all. So he went back to the flat with Ray Lang and proved to be just as good as ever. So back to Fulk Warwing again. He's moving around a fair bit. They equipped blinkers the second time this season he ran. He's only run twice, and it certainly made a big difference to his jumping. And that was at Newbury. He was very unlucky that day because another runner took him on. He likes to bowl along quite free, and he ran himself into the ground that day, eventually finishing second to Classified. But he's a classy horse. And there with the disc just going out to the right, that's number 9, that's Frau Mau by Wolverhollow. This is a mare out of Perceptive and owned and trained by Sue Griffiths at Prestatyn. Well, this one has come to form at the right time, but the form doesn't quite look good enough, I'm afraid. Eddie Brooke in the saddle there. He'll be looking for his first Cheltenham Festival success. Number 13, there's the favourite. And every inch a Cheltenham winner, if ever I've seen one, I think we'll be seeing him coming back. A Knighthood there with a red hat. Knighthood, Bob Turnell's representative. If you could ignore his last run, you could give him a chance, but it was so bad that I'm afraid I'm going to rule him out today. But before that, he'd got some very good form. Andy Turnell in the saddle, just pulling his goggles down. Very handsome horse, this. And one of the several representatives Mr. Jim Joel will have running for him during this meeting. Knighthood, as I say, just going off the boil. Prince By there in the yellow, and State Councillor now 100 to 1 from 66 to 1. There, standing still, that's $50 more. He was bought to be a Gold Cup horse. Well, we'll have a good look at him today. And there's TSAREVICH coming towards us, number 28, Nicky Henderson's horse. He was intended to go for the Panama Cigar Hurdle and missing Cheltenham, but that, of course, was rained off last Saturday. And so he's coming to take his chance here. Lovely big strapping horse, one of Nicky's very strong team. They're coming under orders, so over to you, Peter.
Thank you, Richard. The 16 runners being called in now for this Waterford Crystal Supreme Novices Hurdle, which Irish trained runners trying to win for the 5th year in succession. Starter asks them if they're all right. The flag poised to be lowered for the off of the festival, and they're running. And Sailors Return and Knighthood and Pay Related and Beggar's Bridge, the first to show, with Roadster right up with them as they come to the first of the 8 flights. Knighthood, Beggar's Bridge and Sailors Return almost in unison there. Pay Related, though, right up with them now. Pay Related towards the left of the picture, taking a marginal advantage now over Sailors Return and Knighthood. They're being tracked by $50 more. They're going a very steady pace in this squelching ground in the early stages, and it's Pay Related, Knighthood and Sailors Return and Beggar's Bridge, little between that quartet, being followed by Prince By and Framau and $50 more and Roadster, and behind them come Blue Patrol. Behind Blue Patrol is another story over on the far side. Just right in behind them is the favourite Hartstown as they come now towards the second flight. Roadster, Pay Related, Beggar's Bridge, Knighthood, very little between that quartet. Sailors Return jumps it next, just ahead of Blue Patrol, and then State Councillor and Framau and Kilv, and behind Kilv is TSAREVICH. Then another story and Prince By. Then Eddie Wee. On the inside of Eddie Wee is Path of Peace, and finally Hartstown. Hartstown, the back marker, as they run uphill, and you'll see them shortly pass the ditch on the left, which in a chase they will be missing this afternoon. It's past that ditch now. Knighthood going the shortest way. Andy Turnell on the inside of Pay Related and Roadster. Then Beggar's Bridge and $50 more. Behind them comes State Councillor and Blue Patrol, Sailors Return and Kilv, and then another story. And Hartstown still the back marker of the 16 runners, and about 2 lengths off the 15th horse at the moment as they run down towards the 3rd. Knighthood, Beggar's Bridge. Knighthood and Beggar's Bridge from Roadster on the outside. Hartstown still well last. Pay Related right up with the leaders. So is $50 more. Behind him comes Kilv, Roadster, then State Councillor. Another story going the shortest way on the inner. As they run down now towards the 4th flight, closely grouped. Knighthood, Pay Related, Roadster, $50 more, has moved right up there on the inside. Beggar's Bridge still very well in touch, and it's $50 more. And Knighthood with Pay Related on the outside. Very little between these. Roadster going up once again to join them. Beggar's Bridge just in behind the leaders. Hartstown is improving a bit towards the outside now as they race towards the next flight. Pay Related, Knighthood, Roadster, $50 more. Beggar's Bridge just in behind him over the 5th. Knighthood there, Pay Related and Knighthood, in fact, from Roadster, then $50 more. Then comes Sailors Return in 5th, making ground towards the outside is Blue Patrol. Just in behind them, State Councillor and Prince By. Running downhill now, and as they do so, it's Pay Related for the north in the lead. Pay Related from Knighthood, then comes Roadster, behind him $50 more. Another story, and Hartstown have still got a lot to do as they come down towards the 3rd last flight. Prince By improving on the outside. Pay Related on the inner. Pay Related lands in the lead from Roadster, and it's Pay Related now from Roadster. TSAREVICH coming there very strongly on the outside. $50 more on the inner. Eddie Wee is coming there with a strong run for Ireland too as they come down now towards the 2nd last flight, and it's Pay Related in the lead from Knighthood. Eddie Wee then on the inside, $50 more. Hartstown is improving now. Beggar's Beggars Bridge was a faller there. Beggars Bridge went at that one. They're rounding the home turn now, and it's Eddie Wee who's come to take it up. Eddie Wee from Knighthood, $50 more. Then TSAREVICH on the outside. Hartstown putting in a very strong challenge now as they come to the final flight. It's Eddie Wee being pressed by $50 more. TSAREVICH on the inside, then Hartstown over the last. Eddie Wee being pressed by $50 more. Then TSAREVICH and then Hartstown as they race into the closing stages. Hartstown coming to challenge the leaders now as they race up the hill. It's Hartstown who's coming to take it up. Hartstown on the inside, $50 more on the far side, and Hartstown is going to win it at the line. Hartstown has thrown away to win it from $50 more. A photo for third between TSAREVICH and Knighthood, and behind them Path of Peace and Eddie Wee and Pay Related. Then came Sailor's Return and Another Story, and behind them was Coaster. Behind Coaster was Framar, and then Kilb, and then Blue Patrol, and behind Blue Patrol was Prince By. State Councillor finished last. The faller was Beggars Bridge. The result of the opener here at the Cheltenham Festival of 1981 is first number 13, Hartstown, owned by Mrs. Joe McGowan, trained by Mick O'Toole and ridden by Boots Madden. Second was number 8, $50 more, owned by Sheikh Ali Abu Kamsin, trained by Fred Winter and ridden by John Frankham. And third was number 28, the judge has called it, third was number 28, TSAREVICH, owned by Mrs. C.I. Henty, trained by Nicky Henderson, ridden by Steve Smith-Eccles, and fourth was number 16, Knighthood. That was the result. An immediate 16-to-1 quote from Corals for Hartstown for the 1982 champion hurdle. How's how he won the Waterford Crystal Supreme as we review it with Richard Pittman.
And Boots Madden comes through to take this, but he's been an awful long way out of his ground for a long time, but he's found his run through, and he's coming now. But leading here is the smallest horse in the race. It's little Eddie Wee from Northern Ireland, the stable of Billy Rock. He jumps it well, $50 more on the inside, looked to be going well, and on the outside, the TSAREVICH just running around a little bit there, but he doesn't stop Hartstown. Boots Madden opts to go on the inside, and very close behind the leaders, Pay Related, Knighthood there, running a good race. At this stage, it looks as if the huge horse, $50 more, is going to win, but he runs across there and squeezes out to Eddie Wee, and at this moment, you can see Hartstown under strong driving, but very good riding there from Boots Madden, taking him home. The TSAREVICH right tight under the stands rails. He's run a good race and must be a big contender for the Panama Cigar Hurdle when that is eventually run. And they're running on. You can see Knighthood back to some of his best form.
And there is a steward's inquiry. There's a steward's inquiry on the Waterford Crystal Supreme Novices Hurdle, with the possibility that the stewards are having a look to see whether $50 more interfered with little Eddie Wee after jumping the last. But I don't think there's much danger of Boots Madden losing the opener here. The official margin, 2 lengths and 1.5 lengths, and what an amazing run for the Irish trained horses in this Waterford Crystal Supreme Novices Hurdle. 1977, Mick O'Toole, today's victorious trainer, won it. 1978, Eddie O'Grady won it. 1979, Des McDonough won it. 1980, Liam Brown. So the nap hand completed by this 2-to-1 favourite, Hartstown by Rarity, out of Miss Janet by Super Sam. A horse bred by Stonethorn Properties Limited.